Now this quilt was made by our dear Aunt Sadie, Bill's aunt, his mother's sister. And most of you may know her. She worked in Bob Avis's for several years. And after she retired, she always was making quilts, but after she retired, she took it on full time. And she even had Uncle Harry help her. And she made quilts for everybody in the family, her children and her grandchildren. And then she started on the nieces and nephews, which is a big challenge. But we were lucky. Bill's mother's the oldest, so she started with our family. So we got ours. I don't know whether the last ones got theirs or not, but anyway, she was a very lovely lady, and everybody was very fond of her. And she, one day, one afternoon, she and Uncle Harry came to the door, and she had this nice quilt under her arm. And she said, I don't know whether you have a place that's suitable for this or not, but anyways, I made this quilt for you. I said, I have just the place for it. I had redecorated a room in pink, and I took the bedspread off that I had made that wasn't near as nice as this, and put it on. And our Tom was very close to Aunt Sadie because he would go to her place on Thursday nights when they were practicing for the musicals in the spring. And if he didn't come, she was very upset. So I told Barb to take good care of it when she was sleeping in the bed, because it would become hers when I was through with it. So that's the story of that quilt. This is a very old quilt, and it has a good story with it. It's pretty dilapidated, but this is what they used to use. Like, this is somebody's coat. Yeah. And there's pants here, and all kinds. They used everything, and made very nice quilts. Yeah. My aunt lived in a little village over near Barrie, and she was always looking after people. They had business in town, and they were very prominent people. And this old lady lived next door, and she didn't seem to have any relatives or anything, so they kind of adopted her. And so when she died, they had to clean out her house and look after all this stuff. Well, that was back in, what would it be, the 60s. And you didn't have yard sales then. They never heard tell of yard sales then. So they had to have an auction too. Well, there was a lot of stuff nobody wanted, you know, including these quilts. And so my aunt gathered up everything that was left. She never wasted anything because she was raised when you didn't waste anything. And she took these things around to people that she thought could use them. And Jean got a big box of stuff too. There was 3 quilts in it. 3? Yeah, this one, I'll show you the other one. And there was a 3rd one, and it was the most beautiful of them all. I was very fond of it, but we were in a parade in Dundalk. We had a float there, and I put it on the back of the wagon. And when the parade was over, we left everything on the wagon but the kids' instruments, and I never thought to take this quilt off. Like, who would take it? When I come back, it was gone. And it was all made out of velvet. They must have used the party dresses of all the ladies, and it was labeled with 1905. And this one is a little bit fancier, but it's in much the same shape. And I remember one of the kids saying to me a little while ago, whatever become of those quilts that used to be on my bed when I was a kid? I said, I don't know what became of those quilts. And I got thinking, they're on the top shelf of the linen closet, and they've been there for some time. So I went looking for them the other day, and this was one of the ones that my aunt confiscated for me. This one's got a story to it. It was made at the Old Durham Road School in 1943. And Bill looked up the date, and he was at school then. And there's only 3 people that I could contact that were at school then, and none of them remember about this quilt. But anyway, it was all put together by hand. Bill's Aunt Tina was the teacher, and obviously she liked making quilts because she made quilts at another school too. And it's all, they didn't have a sewing machine there. It looks to me like they have used a sheet and they've applicated everything onto it. So I think they had some mother's help too. So when she left the school, they gave her the quilt. And she had it for years and years, and I think she had it on her bed every day, by the look of it. And she retired to Tavistock, and our son happened to be living right near there at the time, and his wife had a new baby and she was home. So she had a little bit of time, and she was very good to Aunt Tina. And so she gave her this quilt, and she said it was to fill her back to Bill, because he helped make it. So that's the story of the quilt.